We made it. It's Friday. Hallelujah. Praise him. All right. Thank you for your patience. Today's been a day, but it's a good day. It's a Friday too. And I want to say, what's up? Peace, world peace. Welcome or welcome back to Goddess Dawn Speaks, aka the $1 trillion Goddess. It's a vibe, a frequency, and a mindset, baby. Also, they call me the Queen of Info, and I take it every time. Thank you so much for being here. Especially if you're returning, one of my people, my chosen ones, my warriors, welcome back. If you are new to the channel, this is a new experience for you. Chill out and relax. We're going to get into today's testimony at the Diddy trial, day 26. Yeah, week 6, day 26. I don't know. Those numbers don't look good for the diddler. But listen, if you're returning, you know what we have to do. We got to give this thing a minute to warm up. Hopefully people get their notifications and are available. Otherwise, I will see you in the replay. And if you are in the replay, skip ahead about 6 minutes, maybe 7, because I'm talking a lot right now. And today, instead of music, we're going to listen to my girl Afi on Law Crime Network. She's on a panel. And, we can do something different today. But I need to know if you can hear me first. So I think that's you, Wow Wayne. Can you let me know if you can hear me, please? And thank you. Yeah. And while we're doing that, I want to say what's up to the Black Letter Law. First one in here, Michelle. Hello, hello. Wow, Wayne. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you so much. So like I said, we're going to play a couple minutes of Afi Patterson Esquire on Law and Crime, along with some other panelists. Let me get it. There we go. Might as well do it like that. And I'll be back, y'all.
All-star panel. I'm joined by Afi Patterson, trial attorney, rap and hip-hop legal expert, criminal defense attorney William Corman, and with me in studio, trial attorney Aaliyah Roberts. It's great to have everybody here. Aaliyah, I'll start with you. So good to see you. It's been a minute.
You too, Jesse.
Happy to have you in studio. What are you making from the evidence today?
I think from the evidence today, at most, it kind of bolsters the prosecution's case. As you said before, there is this idea where there's so much information that you need someone to come together and kind of summarize, for lack of a better term, what it is that is going on. I think that from a standpoint of, like you said, the racketeering component, we have the transportation for drugs, we have the paying of the hotel rooms, we have the request from his assistants, his employees, to purchase those drugs, to purchase those hotel rooms. So from that standpoint, I do think that from the racketeering standpoint, we have something here. I think, like you said before, from Jane Doe, the fact that she was able to say no might lead the jury to believe, well, maybe she did have autonomy. Maybe she wasn't forced as she said that she was. But then you also have the sex tapes that he's threatening to release that information. So there's still arguably a hold over her, even if she might have felt that she had some autonomy. Mm-hmm. So it really just depends to, as with all trials, whether or not the jury believes which side they believe and how much weight they give to that evidence.
And is consent so clear cut? Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, they already had a witness testify about some of the the complicated issues surrounding a trauma, surrounding a sex trafficker or abuser victim relationship. We got an update from court too, so I'm going to read you updates and break them down in real time with my panel. So the prosecutor asks this special agent, another summary witness, who are the participants in this chat? Jules and Sean Combs. We know that Jules is one of the alleged sex workers in this case. You read Jules. And so the special agent, as Jules says, I'm available Friday through Sunday, whatever flights work, which one? And then Combs says Friday at 4. This is the kind of evidence that makes it look like transportation to prostitution is the easiest charge for prosecutors to ultimately convict Sean Combs of, no?
Oh, absolutely. And also, I think a lot of this testimony today is just fertilizing the argument of conspiracy. It's showing how involved everyone on the staff, on the team was, we're talking about the Wild King nights, or we're talking about, oh, maybe not the Wild King night, but maybe the Gucci bag night. So they have knowledge of everything that he does. They have a routine. They know what to do before, they know what to do during, they know what to do after, they know where to drop the money, they know how much money to drop. So it's, they're doing a fantastic job of just adding this good fertilizer to the conspiracy charge. And I think they're doing a perfect job showing, exploring this with the transportation matter.
William, we got some questions coming in. Where is this? It was a great question. Now I'm trying to see where it is. Where is it? Okay, good question. This is a great question from Nest Dog, who's, by the way, been...
Okay, now, that was really just for Miss Offie Child. Although this is a great conversation. So I'm going to make sure I have the link in the description box if you want to go back and watch this full panel interview. But good job, Offie. Excellent job. We love it. Yeah, applause. Child, when people do their big one, you gotta let them know you see them. Okay, now, I don't know where everybody is at, but it is Friday. Yesterday being Juneteenth, might have been folks off. I know the days of the week can be a bit confusing when you have a canceled court session on Wednesday, and then Thursday, the Juneteenth holiday, the court was closed and had already been planned on being closed, and now we're back on a Friday, right? Anyway, what I'm going to do now is talk about today. So Brendan Paul, who had been called the rug mule all along, but now he's being called an ex-assistant, and from the little bit I've heard, he is seemingly in denial. Maybe he high. I don't know. But this was him stepping into court today, or stepping out. This is after his testimony. And this is while he was on the stand. This is what the court cartoon sketch artist did to Brendan. They aged him about 20, 25 years. But maybe that's what they saw. They saw his energy and not his actual face, child. Okay, so what's going on, Baby Yoda? Welcome back, boo. Happy Friday. So I'm going to get right into things on the Washington Post. They let us know that Judge Subramanian has been pretty firm and pretty fair as well. So they say he has repeatedly emphasized the importance of having a fair and orderly trial. And he is very efficient and very big on efficiency. And we like that. But the question is he going to meet his deadline of July 4th for ending this trial? That was his deadline, but I guess we're going to have to see. All right. So I'm going to get right into testimony now. I know I've been saying I'm about to get right into this and then I keep talking, but that's what I'm about to do. So today I'm going to read the updates from P. Diddy trial updates on X. Her @ is Jewel Mancy, Mansy, in case you're on X and you want to give her a follow. She appears to be a Black woman, but it is looks like an AI cartoon type picture. So, but they represent as a Black woman, and shout out to her for doing this good work. So she starts off today with U.S. versus Sean P. Diddy Combs, trial day 26. Will Brendan Paul finally get his 90 minutes? And will a juror who had vertigo be able to make it to court today? Well, we do know that he made it. So let's get into that. Judge Subramanian says jury deliberations could begin next week. So both sides prepare exhibit laptops. He also denied the defense's request to remove juror number 7. So there you have it. All the rumblings about juror number 7 has been put to bed. Judge said denied. That juror stays. Not all the jurors are in, but there is feedback that the juror who was sick with vertigo is doing well now. Okay, so listen, they have a whole underground network of getting this information out to the public from a closed, well, it's a public, but closed to the media club, closed to devices courtroom. Yet we are all over the world getting all this information. She says they're all in now. Brendan Paul is on the stand. Prosecutor Christy Slavic will be questioning him, and that's a question mark. Okay, Slavic gets up. Mr. Paul, when did you start working for Mr. Combs? He says, I started working as Mr. Combs' assistant in late 2022, right after I graduated college. Okay, so I personally was unaware they had been working together for that long. I mean, goodness, that's what, 23 years? I'm so bad at math and numbers. So 22, 23. Okay. It's a long time. And that's going to play into probably why we're going to get this testimony we're getting. The prosecution asks, and when did your employment end? He says March 25th, 2024, the day I got arrested at Miami Airport. Prosecution asks, what were you doing at the time of the arrest? Paul says, I was headed on a family vacation with Mr. Combs. So they're not only employer, they're family, according to Brendan. And I may have been mistaken also in saying that he was also One Stop, who was the dealer we were introduced to in Cassie's testimony, because I don't know if that ever comes up, so that can't be confirmed. Just saying. Okay, so the prosecution asked, you were found in possession with coke. Can you explain that? He says, it was in my Gov't bag. I used that bag for my personal assistant duties. And coke, was it yours? No, it wasn't. I found it while I was sweeping Mr. Combs' room. Oh, goodness. I found it while I was just organizing things. I picked it up to move it somewhere else, but I forgot to take it out of my bag before we left. Paul, isn't it true that part of the reason you were hired was because of your athletic background? Yes, Mr. Combs' team took interest in the fact that I played college basketball. You played for Syracuse, correct? That's right. From 2018 to 2020. I wasn't a star or anything. I mostly sat at the end of the bench. And once hired, what kind of tasks were you assigned? Mostly things related to fitness, food prep, without workout planning, that kind of stuff. Mr. Paul, who first told you about the assistant position with Mr. Combs? It was Ellie Maroon. He used to work for Mr. Combs too. And what exactly did Mr. Maroon tell you about the job? He said, get in, get out. If you have a girlfriend, break up with her. You're never going to see your family. He made it clear it was going to be a really intense job that would demand all of my attention. When did you officially interview? Fall of 2022. It was at Mr. Combs' residence in Los Angeles. What happened when you arrived? I handed my ID to security and signed a non-disclosure agreement before going inside. Who did you meet with? Christina Coram, his former chief of staff, and Frankie Santella, a music manager. We spoke for about 20 minutes. Interjecting, you notice he said his former. I mean, I get that he's locked up. Well, she did make that announcement. But what I'm wondering is if they talked and she was like, you better keep my name out your mouth as much as you can. And I don't work for him. Make that clear. Okay. When did you start? They asked. He said just a few days after meeting. What were your responsibilities during those first few weeks? Out of the LA home, mostly took orders from other assistants. Daily tasks were split. Travel logistics, packing, workouts, meals, music-related errands. Did any of those tasks involve handling controlled substances? Yes, I packed marijuana joints in the garage. What was your starting salary when you began working for Mr. Combs? I started at 75,000 a year. By January 2024, I was making 100,000. Not enough. Prosecution says, can you describe the typical hours you work while employed by Mr. Combs? I usually work between 80 and 100 hours a week over 4 to 6 days, but really, I was on call. I was always on call. Who paid your salary? It was paid by Mr. Combs Enterprises. You mentioned frequent travel. Did you usually fly with Mr. Combs? Sometimes, maybe 3 or 4 times on his private jet, but I traveled ahead of him to set up rooms and make sure everything was perfect before we arrived. Did anyone travel with you when you went ahead? Occasionally, yes. Stylists, photographers, it depended on the trip. Who handled your travel arrangements? Mr. Combs' travel manager booked everything for me. What's the longest stretch you've worked without sleep? During the New York album release, I stayed up almost 3 days. Took a few naps. My job was to arrive early and prep hotel rooms so that everything was seamless and he had everything he needed. How did you manage working such long hours with so little rest? I was young, so I was able to handle it. How were you able to stay awake for that long? Did you use anything to that effect? I took prescription Adderall and rarely I used coke. I also smoked marijuana during my time working for him. He rarely used. Okay. What would you say your job was at its core? My job was to make sure Mr. Combs was happy, to fulfill every request exactly how he wanted. He didn't take no for an answer. Wow. Did he ever describe how he viewed his team? Okay, I'm going to interject because the question is, how do you know he didn't take no for an answer? What have you seen of that? Can you ask that? I think you can. Let me see if y'all are any questions. What's going on, Trav? Happy Friday. Mr. Paul, were you ever fired? Oh, wait, I'm skipping something. Did he ever describe how he viewed his team? Yes, he said they were like SEAL Team 6, elite, precise, and failure wasn't an option. Mr. Paul, were you ever fired during your time working for Mr. Combs? Yes, multiple times actually, usually on impulse. Can you give an example? That's the question. After he won't take no for an answer, can you give me an example right there? All right. One time it was over a Lululemon fanny pack, which I'd forgotten to bring along. He fired me on the spot. And what happened after that? Christina Coram pulled me aside and told me to just stay low. She said, keep a low profile and it'll blow over. Did it? Yeah. A few days later, I ran into him and he just said, just say, hey, like nothing ever happened. Did he ever bring it up again? No, he never mentioned it again. If you had concerns or issues on the job, was there anyone in HR you could talk to? There wasn't really an HR process. If there was an issue, you either went to Mr. Combs or Miss Coram. And this is important because y'all know, or if you don't know, the defense is bringing up the HR rep for Bad Boy Entertainment and whatnot. So the prosecution asked, were you ever asked to purchase rugs while working for Mr. Combs? Yes, I was asked to buy $1,000 worth. Oh, I was asked to buy $1,000 worth. What kind of rugs? Marijuana, coke, pink coke, ecstasy, and ketamine. Ketamine. So the prosecution shows a picture to the jury. Mr. Paul, can you identify what this is? That's ecstasy and 2C. It's a powder mix of ketamine and Molly. It was dyed pink for aesthetic purposes. How often did you buy rugs? Mr. Combs liked specific weed strains, King Louis and Sunset Sherbet. King Louis. Sunset. Just kidding. Did Mr. Combs ever ask you personally to use rugs? Yes, he asked me to try some. And did you? I did. I wanted to prove my loyalty. What happened when you took it? I felt euphoric, but not the full effect. Did Mr. Combs ask you how it felt? He did. He asked if it was good because he was checking this to see. I said yes. And then I kept working. I just kept working. Is this your conversation with baby girl? What's happening in this chat? That's Jonathan Perez introducing me to baby girl. She asked if the rugs were for me or for Puff. I told her they were for Puff, but to tell anyone else they were for me. And why did you say that? Puff was high profile. We always used aliases to protect his identity. Did Mr. Combs use Cialis? Yes, we placed it in his nightstand. You sent message to, and y'all know Cialis is like the blue pill, Viagra, right? You sent a message to Love Red Phone. What does that mean? I called Puff Love. His red phone was for personal use. His business phone was yellow. He said. What did he text you? He texted Zans. How did you typically pay for the rugs? With cash, either from Gucci bag or from security, usually Fahim. In this text, you mentioned flowers. What does that mean? It's code for marijuana. You also refer to marijuana as tree. Yes, in this message, Fahim is telling me I'll be reimbursed once Duke starts his shift. What were Wild King nights? They were nights where Puff, his significant others, and others were involved in parties with rugs and sex. Did Jane participate in those nights? Yes. What about Mr. Combs' other girlfriends? Not to my knowledge. Who came up with the term Wild King Nights? KK started calling them that. I just said he's going to hotels. So me interjecting, who he's saying nobody else to his knowledge. But he said other girlfriends. Okay. So they didn't ask which girlfriends. They just said anyone else. Okay. So the prosecution said, did Mr. Combs, because I was actually saying if he worked with him up to March of 2024, then you're not going to tell me Young Miami. Then there's Gina as well. People who weren't on the stand were doing these nights as well. Okay. Now his role, he said, was to clean up afterward. Then the USA shows the jury a chat. What does this message mean? Jane coming in, Brendan is setting it up. Wild King night probable? It means Jane was arriving. I was arranging things, and there was likely going to be a Wild King night. Where did you make the dinner reservation? Nobu. And where was the Wild King night that evening? At Jane's place. I wrote that I was running to Walmart for them. KK asked, this is the government, Wild King night, Wild King mode active or Gucci bag active? What was your response? I said it was somewhere between the two. How did you know what to prepare for a Wild King night? We kept a shared list in the notes app with everything that was needed. Who was in charge of supplying the Astroglide? The property manager. I didn't think the one at 200 South Mapleton was doing a good job, so I took a photo to show her how the Astroglide should be arranged in the bathroom. Wow. For one session or one, wow, that's a lot. Oh, let me show y'all. I think we've seen this before, but this is how it's supposed to be set up. Those are the travel bottles, right? So I wonder why they just don't put a couple big bottles. That's not for me to ask. Apparently they know what they're doing. Or he knew what he was doing. Let me rephrase. Okay, let's get back to it. I'm gonna put Brendan back up. How did you request cash reimbursement? Through Robin at TriStar. Did Mr. Combs contact you during Wild King nights? Yes, he would either send voice notes or FaceTime me. Do you recognize this message dated February 14, 2024? Yes, that's from Puff. He was asking me to get him Xanax. Did he have a prescription? No, he didn't. Were you able to get it for him? No, I couldn't fill the request. What was Christina Quorum's stance on your involvement in Wild King Nights? She didn't really want me involved, but I still helped set things up and I cleaned up after. Is this photo from the day you were arrested? Yes, March 25th, 2024. We were on a rented jet. The coke you were found with, did it belong to Mr. Combs? Defense still objects. The judge sustains. What was the cocaine? No. Was it intended for Mr. Combs? Objection. The judge overrules. It was for Mr. Combs. What did you do following your arrest? I entered a diversion program and completed drug treatment. No further questions. The judge says cross-examination. Cross-examination by Brian Steele. You walked on to the Syracuse basketball team under a legendary coach, correct? Yes. You played against UNC, but COVID cut the season short? That's right. You weren't just some rug runner, were you? Objection, the judge overrules. No, that was not the full scope of my role. That was a small part of your job? Absolutely. Were the rugs for your personal use? The judge says, please rephrase. The hotel nights, were they personal events? Objection. The judge says, rephrase the question. From what you observed, weren't those hotel nights simply personal time for Mr. Combs and Jane, relaxation? Yes. Did Jane seem unwilling or hesitant? No, she didn't. If you had witnessed anything non-consensual, wouldn't have stayed on, correct? Objection, the judge sustains. You wouldn't willingly work for someone you believe to be a criminal, right? No, I wouldn't. Your reputation matters to you? It does. You were arrested with 27 grams. That's barely more than personal use. It was a mistake, wasn't it? Yes. And the case was dismissed? Yes, it was. In your experience, did drugs make Mr. Combs more focused? He became extremely creative. Sitting here today, would you say you're still grateful to Mr. Combs in some way? I had good experiences for the most part. See, there's another question. Okay, for the most part, give me an example. What are we looking at? Come on, government. No further questions. Your Honor, may we approach for a sidebar before we redirect? The judge says, yes, they have a sidebar. Oh, man, now she's saying she was logged out by X the second time. In a matter of weeks, we'll be bringing the rest of today's updates, thanks, which she has here. Because if my thing is, why? Oh, maybe there's a time gap. Because I'm like, why even tell us? Okay. So, okay, she has the next. Hold on, let me go to Inner City Press because I don't know that his testimony was done at that point. X logging folks out. The black lady. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, hold on. Let me find today's court session. Here we go. Okay, adjourned. Wait a minute. I'm so confused. What's going on? Okay. I think they had a short session today as well because one of the jurors had a graduation to go to. So okay, I'm just going to go ahead and read hers because his look a little crazy. So Joseph Cerciello is a special agent for Homeland Security investigations, and they're up next. Smizer says, agents, I'm just going to say C because his name is Cerciello, and that's a bit much. Agent C, did you participate in the original investigation? No, I was brought in ahead of trial to review evidence and prepare summaries. And what are you summarizing? A government chart tracking 44 events involving Mr. Combs between May 2021 and August 2024, including locations, names, and travel details. What's the source of this chart? Thousands of pages, text, phone data, financial records. My role is to ensure everything on the chart matches the original evidence. Is Jane listed in those entries? Yes, she's the only woman to have appeared across all 44 events. Whoa. What? Okay, where did most of these events take place? In hotels, mostly before the Cassie lawsuit. And after? No more hotel entries appear after that point. How many events have happened after Diddy posted the Instagram video on May 19, 2024? 3. Does the chart reflect every time Jane and Mr. Combs were in the same place? No, only what we could confirm with solid evidence. From Cassie to Mr. Combs in May 22nd, 2017. In quotes, you get effed up. You drag me down the hall by my hair. I'm 30 years old. This isn't play anymore. I have bleeding cuts. I was scared of your rage. I talk out of line sometimes. I do apologize, but that doesn't mean I don't love you. And your love shouldn't equate to what you do for me. Physicalities take it somewhere else. Boris had to tackle you, Puff. Cassie to Combs, that's not love, that's possession. And then Diddy responds, I'm not going to let someone shit on me when all I've done is be nice. Any other woman in the world would have been so happy. You're whack for not keeping it real when I and everyone knows you were acting like a bee. You need to ask someone how you were acting. Talk to your people. They'll tell you, or they won't, because all they do is suck you. KK won't. Talk to her. Cassie also texted Christina Korn. I'm sure you don't want to get involved, but he said I was an a-hole, which I owned, but no one deserves to be dragged by their hair. I locked the door for my safety. The prosecution says, going forward, Agent C, based on your review, where did most of the documented events involving Mr. Combs and Jane take place? He said the majority happened in hotels, all before Ms. Ventura's lawsuit was filed. And after the lawsuit, no hotel events were recorded after that point. Did your chart include every time Jane and Mr. Combs were together? No, only the instances backed by supporting evidence, text, records, or surveillance. Let's talk about December 2021 trip to Miami. What did the records show? Jane and a man named Sly flew in separately. Hotel records from the St. Regis Ball Harbor shows a $6,000 damage charge. Were the texts supporting this? He says yes, Jane and Sly coordinated their arrivals via text. Let's move to January 2023, Los Angeles. ? Yes, a room was booked under Joseph Chavez. The hotel billed $37.50 for damaged furniture. What kind of damage? The hotel reported bodily fluid staining the wood floors and several furniture pieces. Were others involved? Text showed Mr. Combs and Jane planning the arrival of 3 men. One of them deposited $1,500 cash at LA ATMs afterward. And this message here, what does Mr. Combs instruct Jane to do? He tells her to send $1,100 to Cowboys for Angels for flights and an overnight rate. In April 2023, did Mr. Combs and Jane stay at another hotel? Yes, the London Hotel in Los Angeles. A third entertainer joined them based on text messages. Was there another charge for damages? Yes, $1,800. The hotel reported baby oil soaked into towels and carpet. Smoking in the room was also noted. This note on April 25th, 2024, where was it found? On the phone of Fahim Muhammad, head of security. What did it say? $5,000 PD, personal London. Let's move to the incident on June 18, 2024. What does the evidence show? Jonathan Perez texted Fahim Muhammad saying they needed $600 because PD is about to go to Jane's house. And then, later that day, Perez messaged both Muhammad and Christina Coram, the chief of staff, saying he and Mr. Combs were on their way to Jane's home. What happened after that? Coram texted them asking someone to pick up PD as soon as possible. In the same thread, Perez asked Muhammad to bring cash. Did Perez send another message after that? Yes, on June 20th, Perez texted Muhammad again. Need $3,500 cash ASAP for his guest. I'm going to take it to her. Judge Subramanian adjourns the court because one of the jurors has to attend a graduation ceremony. And now, with the jurors gone, the judge asks, Ms. Comey, what is the government's timeline for resting its case? Your Honor, we expect to rest by the end of the day Monday. Special Agent Cerciello will continue on direct in the morning, likely through lunch break. And defense? Ignifilo says, we expect to begin our cross-examination of Agent C Monday afternoon. At this point, Your Honor, we believe we'll rest Tuesday or Wednesday. The judge says, very well, we'll plan for a charge conference on Wednesday and closing arguments tentatively on Thursday, depending on, of course, on when both sides officially rest. And it looks like that's all she wrote for today. Well, actually, that was it. That was it. So, speaking of charging the jury instructions in the docket, let me pull them up. So what was the I guess bottom line? So this agent basically confirmed the summary charts confirmed the activities, basically backed all by evidence. Everything was corroborated by actual evidence. Okay. So, of course, that was Brendan up the whole time when the agent was testifying. So, Trav, 3 witnesses at max for Diddy. Yeah, I heard. And I forgot. I know the HR person. I think they also have a psychologist, probably to rebut Don Hughes and somebody else. I forgot who. Do you know who the other person is? Okay, so this is Pacer. What is this? This memo was from today. Oh, okay. By interested news organizations to Sean Combs to Judge Subramanian from Robert Balin regarding Jane Doe. The government should provide copies of all exhibits Monday, June 23rd. Okay, so that was the press wanting something. Response to USA to Sean Combs regarding additional jury instructions. Well, this is what the judge ordered on June 18th. Order as to Sean Combs to prepare for jury's deliberation in this case. The court instructs the parties as follows. The government shall collect and prepare a laptop that contains all non-physical exhibits, admitted, and nothing else. Only non-physical exhibits. The laptop shall not contain any demonstratives used, or any exhibits not admitted into evidence. The government shall share such laptop with the defense for its review by Monday, June 23rd, 2025. The parties may add exhibits to this laptop through the close of evidence in this case. Prior to closing arguments, the court will require each side. Oh, I thought these were jury instructions. My bad. They're not. They're instructions to the parties. All right. The court will require each side to confirm on the record that it has reviewed the laptop and the laptop contains all electronic device as evidence admitted and only the electronic evidence admitted. On or before the date of closing arguments, the government shall collect and identify to the defense all physical exhibits admitted as evidence in this case. Non-contraband exhibits will be provided to jury in the jury room upon request. Any contraband admitted as evidence will remain in the courtroom for the jury's viewing there. Again, the physical evidence may be supplemented through the completion of the evidence. Prior to closing arguments, the court will require each side to confirm on the record that parties have gathered all physical evidence and admitted, and that is available. It's available in the courtroom. On or before the date of closing arguments, the parties should meet and confer and submit to the court only a jointly agreed upon full list of all exhibits admitted with descriptions of each exhibit. The parties should agree upon each exhibit description. The court will provide such a list to the jury during its deliberation to aid in its deliberations. The parties may supplement this list through the completion of evidence. On or before the date of closing arguments, the parties should meet and confer regarding the redactions and necessary for the transcript that the jury requests portions of the transcript be submitted to them during deliberations. The court recognizes that the parties will likely be unable to meet and confer on such redactions for the entire transcript. However, parties should do so for the witnesses that they have believed the jury will most likely ask for. During deliberations, the court expects the parties to deal with any redactions promptly. Should the jury request portions of the transcript that the parties have not previously met and conferred upon, signed by the judge. Okay, that wasn't what I thought it was, but I'm the person, if I start something, I got to finish it. Sorry if that was boring, because it kind of was, but it was good to know. The jury is going to get this list of all the evidence, and if they need it to see it, the ones with the contraband and stuff, all they have to do is ask for it. It's going to be available to them, and everything else is going to be put on laptops. So they're going to be able to review all this. They have a very tough job ahead of them, this jury does, in my opinion. There's a lot of information. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, guilty, 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 guilty. But, you have to be prepared to discuss, because everybody's not going to have the same perception of things. Everybody in that jury pool is not going to have the same mindset about and feelings about all the things. I mean, maybe they will. I don't know. I can't even say that. They're humans, and typically you're not going to find something so seamless happen in a jury room. But like I said, you never know. I'm going to stay positive. They're all going to feel the same way about him. Exactly. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Trav, no, I don't know. Maybe a pastor. Oh, for the next witness, TD Jakes. You think TD Jakes is gonna get up there for him? Get up there and tap dance for Diddy? Wow. Okay, so the government is gonna finish testifying with Agent C, and then they're gonna do their cross-examination on Monday, and then hopefully the defense will start, if not Monday afternoon, Tuesday, their presentation. They're going to show us their case. And they said they have 3 witnesses. Again, it's not their burden to prove, actually. It is the government's. So it is very typical, I think, too, for defense team presentations to be a lot lighter than the prosecution. So let me see if I have anything to share. We got a light little chat or crowd in chat today, but I appreciate you for being here. And, Life be like that. Different. Life be different. I have a video up for those of you who haven't seen it about R. Kelly and the latest headlines. I talked about quite a few headlines actually in that 10-minute video. It's under my video tab, of course. And don't forget to check my community wall as well, the post tab on my channel. I try to post stuff up there every couple days. Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything saved there. I don't have anything new for y'all. Let me just see if Afi posted anything on blackwomendaily.co on Instagram. Hopefully you guys are following the page. Okay. We have an update. Okay, we're going to go out talking about, and this was obviously yesterday for Juneteenth. I feel so bad I didn't post anything for Juneteenth, but I was Juneteenth in it outside, just celebrating my freedom to do so. Celebrate my freedom to do everything I do in life without nobody, punishing me, killing my seeds, just doing horrible things to my family line. Okay, so today or yesterday, it's posted here. Juneteenth is often described as the day enslaved people in the Southeast Texas first received news of their freedom, but this is a mischaracterization. On June 19th, 1865, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston with 2,000 troops and issued an order that enforced the Emancipation Proclamation, which had been issued more than 2 years earlier. His order came just 24 days after the last Confederate stronghold in Texas surrendered. Here is a timeline. February 1st, 1861, Texas secedes from the Union. March 2nd, 1861, Texas formally joins the Confederate States of America. February 9th, 1861, Jefferson Davis was selected as the provisional president of the Confederate States at the Constitutional Convention in Montgomery, Alabama. April 12, 1861, Civil War begins with the Confederate attack on Fort Sumter in South Carolina. January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln, using his post-wartime powers as commander-in-chief, issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring enslaved people in the Confederate-held territories that were in active rebellion be free. Abraham Lincoln. January 31st, 1865, Congress proposes the 13th Amendment to end slavery in the United States. April 9th, 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrenders to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. April 14th, 1865, President Lincoln is assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, VP. Andrew Johnson becomes president. As soon as he did that, boom, his job was done. May 5th, 1865, the Confederate government dissolves. Bye-bye. June 19th, 1865, enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation reaches Texas when Union General Gordon Granger arrives in Galveston. Okay, that's when he arrives in Galveston and issues General Order Number 3, announcing that all enslaved people be free. The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. I would imagine what would have happened at that moment with everybody. Did everybody just stand there like, now what? Because where are we going to go? Where are we going to live? How are we going to eat and survive? So this is Adeline Cunningham, Katie Darling, Isabella Boyd, Josie Brown. Oh, I don't know. It says Josie Brown. Oh, here we go. Josie Brown, Charlotte Beverly, Betty Simmons, Claire Brand. Wow. And the fact that they lived to be elderly during those harsh times, imagine the things they saw and the things they heard and were subject to and experienced, just felt, you know, they were probably married, had children, and then, you know, horrible things probably happened. General orders number 3. This is the general order that they came and freed the slaves with. I'm wondering though, what did they provide them with after they were freed? Because like I said, I know there's a whole, it's in the books. I get it. It's all documented, but I'm just saying. I remember, I forgot what that era is called, when they were all like, this is how poverty began for the, you know, the Black community. I mean, it was slavery to poverty, and then we had to climb ourselves up out of that. And the certain places that did do that, they were burned down to the ground or stolen. So yet again, starting over again. And I think that speaks to resilience of Black people, and resilience and strength and faith and hope. All of those things together, you know. Oh, Reconstruction. Thank you. Thank you, Trav. What are you? A walking AI, walking travel dictionary? But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You said that's how many R. Kelly had. How many? I missed that. Tell me what you meant, child. You can email me because I'm signing off. But I appreciate y'all. Have an amazing weekend. Yes, we're probably going to be doing a recap, but please subscribe so you get the notification. And yeah, I guess that's where I'll see you next. Peace and love. Witnesses. Oh, exactly. He did. Yeah. R. Kelly. And you see how that went. You see how well that fared for him. So yeah, good for Diddy defense to follow in R. Kelly's lawyer's footsteps. Anyway, y'all, peace and love. Bye.